Hey everybody, welcome back to Grandma's Corner 2020 for yet another video on what to do with all of those paper towel and toilet paper rolls that you have now been collecting per my request. So we are now working on video number 8 in this series, and today we're going to do 3 holiday activities or projects, one of which is going to be an advent calendar, the other one is going to be a wreath for the Christmas holidays, and then I'm going to show you how to make, look at that cool Christmas tree. I only have it half done because I want to show you how to do the other part of it. So let's start off with the wreath. So I went ahead and I cut. Now you can use either toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, it doesn't matter. I cut a whole bunch of rings about less than 1/2 inch wide, and I created flowers. So I went ahead and with my hot glue gun, or you could use Aleene's tacky glue if you want to hold on to it for a few minutes to get it to dry. It is better than a regular white glue, but I'm telling you, a hot glue gun is the way to go. And I made, let's see, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 or 12 of these floral shapes. So 4 rings per flower, and then you're going to make about a dozen of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, about a dozen of these. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to spray paint them. So when they're all painted, I'll bring them back and we'll assemble it. How does that sound? Get excited. So hold on to your britches. I'll be right back. Hey, okay, so I am back after spray painting all of my little flowers that I made. And you know, there probably is going to be some spots where it's not going to be quite as thick in paint. You know what? No big deal. It adds a little character, adds a little texture to it. So let's get crack-a-lack, I'm making this wreath. So I'm going to take 6 of these and I'm going to put them down on my table here, and I'm going to arrange them and decide how I want them to connect to one another. And because we're going to do 2 layers of them. So what I'm going to do is lickety-split. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue these together, and then I'm going to put the next layer on, and then I'm going to add some, I found some red felt and I cut up some circles to represent the holly berries. So not holly berries as in Holly Berry or Berry Holly, whatever her name is, the actress, but the plant, you know what I mean. All right, so let's get these going. And it's not gonna take much glue. Again, if you use the hot glue gun, man, lickety split. This is gonna go so fast. So sometimes you're gonna put in the tip of one of the petals into the groove of another. Maybe you're gonna glue a petal to a petal. It just kind of depends on how you're putting this thing together. All right, now I'm almost done, and then I'm gonna lift this up and I'm gonna show you what I have for the very first level. All right, can't seem to talk and glue at the same time, it seems like. Okay, there we go. So that's done. I'm going to lift this up. I'm kind of glued to the paper here. All right, so there's my first level, my first tier of the wreath. And you can see I've got all those little spider webs from the glue. And so now I'm going to take the other 5 and I'm going to put them on top to make 2 layers. So again, I'll just kind of play around with it. And I will be right back and I'll show you the end. Okay, so I went ahead and I put both those layers on and I added some of the red berries. And isn't that a really cool wall hanging? It looks just like that, the berries that you get with the foliage and you decorate for the holidays. So I may go ahead and put a few more of these on here in the back, and voila, we're done. You will have to take some time though and pick out all of those little spider webs from the glue, because there's a lot of them, it seems like. And that's okay. That's yet another project. Okay, so thanks for watching this one, and let's see what's next. Okay, so now project number 2 is going to be the Advent calendar. Now this project is going to require 24 toilet paper rolls. And you do need to get them all about the same height. I did notice as I was collecting from neighbors and friends, notice the difference in those two. One might be Charmin, the other one might be Vaughn's. Who knows, you know, a cheap one and a good one. So make them all the same height, and you can always snip them and trim them a little bit, but you are going to need 24 of them for the Advent calendar. Because on the 25th day, it's Christmas, and you won't need to open up this little goodie to find out what's inside, because most likely somebody might have brought you a few little lovely gifts. So anyway, I've got them all lined up. There are 4 across and 6 down. And you're going to also need 3 pieces of cardboard or a heavy tag board. One of which is going to be the roof, and that's going to go on top of the top layer of the 4 toilet paper rolls. And then you're going to create a roof just like this, and that's going to go over that roof line. And I'm going to see if I can hold this so you can see it. So it's going to look like a house, and all of the toilet paper rolls are going to be down below. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go outside and I'm going to paint all these. I'm going to spray paint them green, because I just happen to have green, and green is kind of a holiday color anyway. And when I have them all sprayed and dried, I'm going to bring them back and let's assemble them. So get yourself excited. Ho, ho, ho. Hold on now. Okay, I'm back, and I already spray painted all of my toilet paper rolls, and now I'm going to show you how to fold the end to close it up for the Nativity calendar, where behind each number there's usually a goodie. So what I did is, just like with Jagger, who are you talking to? Just like with the gift boxes, you're going to fold in like that, although you're going to do it a little bit neater, I hope. And then I sort of pinch the ends there, and that is now going to be glued. I already have 3 of them glued together side by side, and I'm going to glue this 4th one, and that is going to be my last layer on this 24 day Advent calendar, not Nativity calendar. Oh my Lord, I think I was calling it the wrong thing. The Advent calendar, you know, all the days before Christmas. That's right. And usually there's a little prize or a little goodie or something fun inside each of those numbers. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. This is not one of my more spectacular projects, but I'm going to go ahead and follow through with it, because you might be able to do something a little bit more clever than me. So there you go. That is the beginning of the Advent, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue on the roof and this part, and I'll come back when I'll show you when it's done. Okie dokie, now I'm back again, and this time I'm going to tell you about the 3rd project, which is going to be this cool little tree. And since we're doing holiday things, I thought, well, we can turn this into a Christmas tree. So, what do you need? Well, you need yourself a toilet paper roll, and you need to make yourself a cone. So what I did is I took a toilet paper roll and I opened it up and I cut a really large square. And that square I kind of measured around the top of the diameter of the toilet paper roll, and I just eyeballed it because the cool thing about making a cone is that you can change the shape of it. You just have to have it big enough. You can make it smaller, but unfortunately you can't make it bigger. So start off big. Here's my cone, or the potential cone. Here's the circle that I made. It definitely will cover the top of that. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it to the middle. Just to the middle, I'm gonna cut one slit. And by pushing these two pieces together, you can create a cone. Isn't that cool? So again, here we go. Here's your disc, and you've got the slit in it, and you're just gonna put one over the other, and you now have your cone. So you're gonna put it on top of your toilet paper roll, and you're gonna see, do you need to trim any? Do you need to make it tighter? Do you need to make it looser? So this is the time for you to kind of just eyeball it and get the size in there. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue that down because again, I'm gonna be using the hot glue gun. That works great for me. And I'm probably gonna give this a little bit of a trim. Can you see how it's not totally round? So I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit and round it up a bit. All right, that looks good. Got all these little spider webs here from the glue. All right, so there's my little hat, which is gonna be the top of my tree. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue that on there, right on top of the toilet paper roll. So this is going to be the tricky part because the edge of this toilet paper roll is very, very narrow. So you're going to have to be careful about getting the glue on there. Sometimes doing it upside down works. Oh, that happened to work pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to squish that on there, and now I've got the top of the tree. So this is going to take like 5 million pieces of strips that are all little skinny little strips of toilet paper roll. So here's your roll. I'm gonna cut off a little less than maybe 1/2 of an inch. You've got it about this wide now. And now if I pinch it together, I can get 2 or 3, depending on how wide you do it. I can get them cut even more narrow, and then I'm gonna cut them in half at the fold. So I'm gonna get 2 out of each of those rings. So there's 2 to add to my pile. Here's my ring that I made that's very, very narrow. I'm gonna cut it at the fold, and now I've got 2 to add to my pile of, these are gonna be the pine needles. So when you have those all cut up, you're going to start gluing them. So as you can see, I already started, and I started at the top, and then I kept tucking them in underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start putting in a couple more here. You don't need very much glue at all at this point because you're just putting a tiny little bit on the end. And after this thing dries, you can change the shape of these cardboard pieces by rolling them, bending them, you know, put them wherever you want them. Like this one's sticking up like a Mad Hatter, so I'm gonna bend that one down a little bit and give it more of a pine shape. There we go, that tamed it down a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up on the other side as well, and then I'm gonna take this outside and I'm gonna, what? Spray paint it green. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna find some things that I can put on here to decorate this tree because I think it's very cute. All right, hang in there one more time and I shall return. Ta-ta. Okay, I'm back now, and as you can see, I spray painted the tree and I put some ornaments on there. So you can put all kinds of beads or buttons, and these happen to be Mardi Gras beads that I cut up. And oh my gosh, there's all kinds of things you can do. The other thing I was going to show you is that this is a good place for you to use glitter and the Aleene's tacky glue. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the ends of some of these branches, and wherever I have the glue, I'm going to sprinkle glitter. And I'm going to definitely put it over a piece of paper so I can collect the leftover. And there you go, I've got some glitter on there as well on this Christmas tree. So this is another great project that you and your kids can do. Alrighty, hang in there. Okay, well, I'm finally back, and I have to tell you, I am less than pleased how this Advent calendar came out. So, short of throwing it away, I decided to go look for some Christmas decorations, and I found a gift bag with some Christmas-like snowflakes on them. So I cut them up and decided to put them on the Advent calendar. You can see that I've added numbers to each of the 24 days. And I had to put something in the back to prop it up a little bit because it is like leaning like a Mad Hatter. So I have to apologize for that. But you know what? Sometimes that happens. Not everything goes according to plan. So I hope you enjoyed our little Christmas tree that you can go ahead and decorate with buttons or cut up Mardi Gras necklaces or beads. And then here we have our holly wreath that we made out of, again, the toilet paper rolls that were cut into rings and a little bit of felt, and our lovely Advent calendar. Oh, let's say it's the first day of Advent. Let's see what might be inside. Oh, look at that. We got ourselves a mint. Well, lucky me. That's the reward for all my hard work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long one and it covered 3 great projects. Well, 2.5 anyway. And maybe you can send me some comments on how I can better this thing. So you have a good one. Thank you for subscribing and following. And I'll catch you next time. Maybe I'll even do another video, number 9. Ta-ta for now.